Hello everyone, welcome to Linear Integrated Circuits LT Spice session number 1. So today we are going to cover non-inverting amplifier using op-amp OP07 simulation in LT Spice. First of all, we will design non-inverting amplifier. Then we will see the effect of saturation levels. Then we'll do some parametric sweep of external resistors. And last, we will see the effect of high frequency response on the circuit. So let us start with the design of non-inverting amplifier. So non-inverting amplifier is as follows, and we have to design for a gain of 10. Now we know that this amplifier, gain of non-inverting amplifier is given by the formula AF is equal to 1 plus R2 upon R1. So we have a required gain of 10. So we can easily write 10 equal to 1 plus R2 upon R1. That gives us 9 times R1 is equal to R2. If we substitute L1 is R1 is equal to 1 kilo ohm, then we will get R2 is equal to 9 kilo ohm. Okay, so let us start building this circuit in LT Spice quickly. Okay, so this is my LT Spice window. I will select OP07 and I place it onto the screen. Next is I want quickly the resistors. So I'll place them also. This is my R1 and R2. And I want a voltage source. So I will select this voltage source. So non-inverting amplifier, the voltage source will go to the non-inverting terminal. So these are my connections. Okay, let me try it once more. Okay, and this has to be grounded. So let me quickly connect this. So this wire will go over here. This wire will be over here. And this resistor R1 will be grounded as per the diagram. So now only thing left is the power supply. Here is my input. So for power supply, select two voltages. So one and the second one, and we will join them for connections. Okay, and I will have a common ground over here. I will be labeling them. Actually, I have taken the power terminals out. So if I label them as VCC, and this will be VEE, and I can give safely as around 15 volts, and this also will be 15 volts. So basically VCC will be positive power supply and VE will be the negative one. Okay, now as per our design, see, this is the same circuit which we have built over here. As you can see, only thing is we have to power up the op-amp, and R1 and R2, R2 is 9 and R1 is 1 kilo ohm. So let us do that. So this is 9 kilo ohm and this is 1 kilo ohm. So this is my amplifier. Input which we need to apply is something as follows. So we can select the sine wave with a DC offset of 0, amplitude of 0.5 volts peak, and a frequency of 1 kilohertz. So that's my connections. Also, I need to power up the op-amp and I need to connect the labels. So I'll write over here VCC and this will be VE. So the op-amp is powered up with the DC power supply now. Okay, so circuit is ready to work. Only thing is we can define here, label it as input. This is V in and this will be V out. Okay, so we are ready to go now. So this will be my Let me check the output first and then I will define the name of the circuit. So for output, you go to simulate, you go to run, and it will ask for the stop time. Now your frequency is 1 kilohertz, so the time period will be 1 millisecond. So let's say I give it around 3 milliseconds. So I have applied 3 milliseconds. Let us check the output. So I'll plot first V in. So this is my V in, 1 volt peak to peak, and that's my V out. If I check this, I can see clearly that if input is 0.5 peak, the output is around 5 volts peak. So basically, amplification of a gain amplification factor of around 10. And as you can clearly see that both input and output are in phase with each other. So this amplifier, which we have desired to make a non-inverting amplifier, is working absolutely fine. There is no problem with it. It is giving a gain of 10. You can see how simple it is to make an amplifier with op-amp. Now I will name the circuit. This is non-inverting amplifier using OP07 op-amp. And here we have the gain requirement. I can write it over here. So gain is equal to 10. I can place it at the heading. Okay, so this is in fact giving the gain of 10 properly. So that's how we simulate the non-inverting amplifier, and that's how we design a non-inverting amplifier just by connecting two external components, that is R1 and R2 resistors. Now let us go to the next part. So this was the phase 1 of the simulation. So this completes the phase 1. Now let's check the phase 2. So phase 2 is observing the output saturation levels. So for that we set V in as 2 volts peak and sinusoidal signal, and the frequency will be 1 kilohertz. And we might get output getting clipped. We might observe that. So this might be a situation for us. So let us check that whether we are getting this or not. Okay. So here I will do one change. Instead of sine wave amplitude as 0.5 peak, I will make it 2 volts. Okay. So what will be a prediction? So input is 2 volts peak and with a gain of 10. So what will be the output? So output will be around 20 volts peak. So let's see whether you are getting 20 or no. So I have applied my input peak as 2 volts peak. So peak to peak will be 4. So output as per the gain should be around 40 volts peak to peak. Let us check. No, the output is not 40. It is around, it is getting clipped as predicted in this PDF. It is getting clipped. And this level, positive level, is called as plus VSAT. And this negative level is called as minus VSAT. So these are plus and minus VSAT are called as positive and negative saturation levels. Let us measure them, how much it is. So this positive saturation level, as you can see, it is 14.02, and the negative saturation level is also minus 14.02. So around 1 volt less. See, power supply is around plus or minus 15, so you can never get an output AC amplitude beyond your power supply. In fact, you get a little less. So you are getting around 1 volt less. So that's how the output is, and that goes with this prediction of whatever we have predicted over here. So it's exactly similar. That's what we have done. So what will be the learnings from this? Let me just keep this window like this over here. So what will be the learnings from this? The output voltage is limited to plus or minus VSAT. So this level over here is my plus VSAT. This level over here is my minus VSAT. So VSAT is around 1.5 volts. So it's approximately 1.5 volts. In case of OP07 in LT Spice, we are getting around 1 volt less than the supply voltage VCC on VE. So this completes the phase 2 of this simulation. Now let us check what is there in the phase 3. So for phase 3, let us go back to the PDF. So phase 3 is parametric sweep of external resistors. So what we need to do is same thing. V in will be 0.5 volts peak sine wave. Frequency is 1 kilohertz, and now we have to vary R1 from 1 kilo ohm to 10 kilo ohm with a step size of 2 kilo ohm. Okay, so let us do that. Okay, so let us try this out. Parametric sweep of external resistors R1 and R2. So let us go back to the circuit. So we have to make certain changes in the circuitry. The first change will be get the amplitude back to 0.5 volts peak, and we have to do something called as parametric sweep. So I'll write that word, parametric sweep. So either you can change the value of R1 or R2. So let us try out with R2. So what I will do is, instead of this 9 kilo ohm, I will write with curly brackets inside RF. Just for example, just for a variable, I have written it here, RF. Let me just push this a little that side. Yeah. So now it is clear, I guess. Okay. Now, earlier I have done was, earlier R1 and R2 were fixed. But now we can vary the value of R2, and the range with which we have to vary is starting from 1 kilo. Let us check. So it has to start from 1 kilo ohm, go to 20 kilo ohm in the step size of 2 kilo ohm. So that can be written by this statement. So you go to Spice Director and you write dot step param. The variable name is RF, and you have 1 kilo ohm starting point, ending point is 10k, and in the step size of 2k. So I'll place this over here. Okay, so this is RF, so it is taking that value. So I have defined my parametric sweep for R2. So what does that mean is, you will get various gains. For example, if RF is 1 kilo ohm, then the gain will be around 1 plus RF upon R1. So that will be gain will be around 2. So similarly, you will get different gains for this. Now let me run this and show it to you how it will be parametric sweep. Okay. So that's what you mean by parametric sweep. This red color is my input and this blue is my output. So as you can clearly see, for various values of uh, RF, that is R2, right from 1k to 10k. So we are getting various outputs simultaneously. So this helps us to observe the system behavior at once. So we have varied the value of R2 across, and this is the response. We can check that the circuit is giving a very stable linear response. So everything is out of phase, everything proper. So let us go back to the circuit, and we have completed this parametric sweep. Similarly, you can do the parametric sweep for R1 also. Now let us go back to the PDF. So what will be the learning? The learning in parametric sweep is it is useful in studying the system's response in to various combinations of same parameters simultaneously. So we have changed over here, the parameter which is changed was R2. So we can see the system behavior over here for the various values of the same parameter simultaneously. If we have to individually do and record the readings, that would have been very difficult. So parametric sweep is quite helpful. Now this completes the phase 3. Let us go to phase number 4. So phase number 4 is high frequency response. For this, we have to set V in as 0.5 volts peak and sinusoidal voltage of input, and the frequency will be 25 kilohertz. And we might observe some weird waveform. So let us try that. So over here, I will go back to the earlier one. So this I will give it as 9 kilo ohm. Parametric sweep testing is over. So I can remove this now. And I can just comment it out. I can just put a star. Okay, fine. So now we are ready to do the parametric sweep. Now only thing ready to perform the high frequency analysis. So this is 9K, this is 1K. So back to our original circuit. Only one thing changes. Here the frequency now becomes 25 kilohertz, and we have to accordingly change the timing. So the timing here, the frequency is 25 kilohertz. So the time period will be 1 divided by 25. That will be around 0.04. So let me give it around zero point 0.3 milli, and let me use this times for time to start the data around, let's say, 70 microseconds. Let me not give that initially. So let us observe the waveforms now. How does it look like? So that's how it looks like. So here is my input and this is my output, which is initial first two cycles you need to completely ignore because that is the initial conditions are set up. So from here onwards, it's perfectly fine. So let me see where it exactly gives a proper output from. So somewhere around 86.92 microseconds. So let me do that. 86.92 micro. So let us start saving the waveform like this so that it little looks proper at the output. Yeah, so this looks proper. So here what has happened, we are supposed to get the sinusoidal signal and we are getting like a triangular wave signal. So that is what is expected in the PDF. Yes, that is what is given over here. So this color which you have drawn is the expected output. The red color is the expected output, and we are getting this output instead, a triangular wave. So let us see that. So this is what we are getting. So it's perfectly fine. But this is the one on the left hand side, on the right hand side are perfectly matching. But this is undesirable. Why? Because the frequency is 25. So just by increasing the frequency, the waveform shape is changing altogether. We are supposed to get a sinusoidal wave, but we are getting a triangular wave. Now let us understand this a little further. So what are the observations? So if the signal frequency is too high, a practical op-amp cannot keep the input due to its slew rate limitation. Now let us understand what is the slew rate. Slew rate of an op-amp is the maximum rate at which the op-amp output can rise or fall. So basically that defines the speed of op-amp. So if if the input changes, how fast the output reacts to it, how fast the output catches up with the input, that is actually the slew rate. And for the 741, the slew rate is around 0.5 volts per microsecond. So this at a higher frequency, the op-amp slightly is the speed of the op-amp is limited by the slew rate. So you will get a waveform which is something like this, which is not desired. So only solution is to select an op-amp with a higher value of slew rate. Okay, so this was the fourth learning, the fourth phase of the simulation which we have completed, and we have completed our objective for today. That was, we have designed a non-inverting amplifier using op-amp. We have observed the effect of saturation levels. We have done the parametric sweep using external resistors, and we have observed that what will happen if the signal frequencies increase to a higher value. So that's it for today. Next time we'll see another circuit in LT Spice. So until then, have a good day.